And we back. Y'all know what time it is, man. It's Mr. One Gotta Go show.
And this is Mr. J File.
And this is the Front Page Podcast. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You're going to want to know when we drop content. But Wob, you already know. We got Boxing Royalty back in the building.
Back in the building.
You know what I'm saying? Last time the homie was here,
Yeah.
YouTube went crazy. The interaction was crazy.
Yeah.
So I think third time's a charm with
Third
this
time's a
one. You
charm.
feel me?
Yeah.
Third time got to be a charm with this one.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like on the front page,
Right.
none other than the homie from Cleveland.
Come on.
But he's in Vegas, right, now,
right now.
and the Browns ain't doing good in the NFL. We got Shawn Porter in the building. We're on the front page.
On the front page.
What's happening, man?
He always be on that buzz.
What's happening, man?
Gotta hit it.
I had to hit him because he hit me below the belt last time he was here with the Chiefs, and I still ain't forgot.
That was different.
I mean, you know.
Oh, it's always different when a nigga get hit back. It's always different.
Because the Browns is doing what you unfortunately come to expect them to do. You want better. You hope for more. Week after week.
For sure.
And you've had an opportunity. It's been some years since you've had to experience what you're experiencing now.
And it hurts. I don't like it. But nothing in life is that easy. Pat Mahomes, all he knows is either Super Bowls or AFC championships. No quarterback in the history of the league has went to that many straight Super Bowls or that many straight AFC championships.
And don't put it past him to figure it out. You know, like that's
he's gonna figure it out.
Yeah, I learned that from watching LeBron. LeBron had one gear through the season. Then he had another gear through the postseason. As you got closer to the championship, the big thing, he had another gear.
Turn that mug up.
They might figure it out.
But we got the homie here, man. We had a big boxing weekend last week, bro. Yeah. Huge weekend out there in Saudi, man, in Dubai, man. Yeah. But the one fight I really want to talk to you about, because I know you watched it like I did, was the Devin Haney versus Norman fight. Hell of a fight. I think that Devin looked great his first time out at 147. He looked stronger. Yeah. He looked more like, he was comfortable in that weight. He felt like he didn't run as much to me. He stood there and fought a little bit. You know what I'm saying? What'd you think about it?
I'm trying to think of like when was the last time that we might have had a co-main event that was more anticipated than the main event.
Yeah.
And I can't really think of one. I ain't gonna front of y'all. Like I'm trying to think of what fight did I have that was a co-main that people might have been more, as excited about or whatever. I fought.
I'm trying to think.
I fought Devin Alexander for my first title fight.
You did fight Devin.
I don't think the energy.
That was a co-main? I thought that was the main.
Who
was the main on that card?
I think what's his name was the main. Deontay Wilder, I believe, was the main.
Okay.
Was the main on that card. And then you fast forward a little right after that, I ended up fighting Paulie. And I was co-main of that card.
The fight I watched 10 times. He made fun of me for watching that fight 10 times.
And I just can't think of any. All that being said, I think that the expectation that it met in terms of we got drama, we got excitement, we got we got a surprise, which is never a bad thing in boxing.
We did get a surprise.
The reason why you say it's a surprise is because I would think that more people than not, with Brian Norman doing what he was doing, there was I remember a lot of people. I didn't really hear anybody saying, Dev going, Dev this, Dev that. Right. But you kept hearing that from Brian, So Dev puts him down in the second round and was like,
what happened?
Right. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Well, how's he going to respond?
Yeah.
Because he was
he was right there.
We like this about to, and it didn't really do that. But for overall, it was a really good boxing match. And I agree with you. More than anything, seeing
that's Shawn Porter, baby. Everybody want him. Everybody want him. Phone ringing and everything.
At the 147-pound weight class, and look the way he looked. And the reason why I point that out is because, like I always say, there's a difference between moving up into a weight class and looking like you belong there.
For sure.
You can look like you belong there because you got enough speed, you got enough moves, talent, whatever the case may be. You can look like you belong there because you moved up and you actually clocked somebody and they, but once you really go past everything, you looked at how comfortable he looked in his
He looked comfortable as hell.
Face and the skin and the he filled out, and we always we shrink a little bit.
Nah.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't look drained at all.
Exactly.
He
was
like,
glowing.
Yeah,
he
just
looked
woke up.
hydrated.
You feel me?
Usually there's this shrinking process with getting to the weight class. Then what we call rehydration, right? Okay. So once we rehydrate, the muscles and everything, they expand back to natural form. He didn't even look like he had to go through a process of shrinking.
Comfortable. Might have been his best camp. camp, though. Well, maybe because he didn't really have to focus on losing the weight. You know what I'm saying? Most fighters, it's 2 fights in the camp. You fighting the weight and you fighting your opponent.
And I got to a point where I was like, because I was going through that myself, I was like, I want to get to a point where I don't have to focus on the weight cut. My dad was always on me, and he said, man, we worrying about your weight. We need to be game planning. How can I implement this and that? And so a lot of times it takes you actually fighting where you should be already. Imagine the kid was fighting at 135. He might even try to turn pro at lowest as 130. I don't know that to be a fact, but I do know that when you go from being 135 pounds to one fight at 140 and now you're at 147, that's probably where you should have been this whole time.
Right.
Yeah. But do you think it was he didn't move up so fast because he was scared of the power? Knowing he don't have a lot of knockouts?
A lot of these guys nowadays seen Manny Pacquiao be an 8th division world champion.
And they want to climb up.
Everybody wants to climb up. I know somebody, I'm not gonna say their name, but I know somebody that's literally like, I just need to get a world championship title and then I'm going up immediately. They just want to be able to get that one in that division and they want to start stacking them, So I think that was a part of the process for Devin too.
Man, where do you see what you see for Devin after this fight? Because he went out there and he put out a masterful performance.
Yeah,
I appreciated both fighters. What up, Adrian Clark? Adrian Clark manages Brian Norman. That's my homie. But what you expect from Devin going forward? Because I heard they might, if Ryan handle his business.
Right.
If Ryan Garcia handle his business.
Do you know when that fight's supposed to take place? Is that a January fight?
I think so. I'm not sure.
The sooner the better.
The sooner the better. So now
the reason why I ask is because you want to be on this, when you got this kind of situation, you got to be on the same calendar.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? You can't be so spaced out. The one thing that I don't want is for Dev to have so much time out of the ring, out of the system of being getting ready for a fight. No secret, once you get the money, you get the vacation. That vacation goes from being 1 week to all of a sudden it's
3 months.
Yeah, you ain't got nothing coming no time soon. 2 weeks to turn into a month. You know what I mean? So you want a fighter to be able to enjoy their fruits but stay busy and stay focused, Hell
yeah. So do you?
But I think that's what's next.
You think
an ill fight?
Why wouldn't it be next though? Who else would he? What else does he have to prove? You want to avenge that loss.
A lot of fights we look at, we be like, that should be, but it don't happen. So anything can happen.
But my thing is, who will win that fight?
You talking about
Devin and Ryan.
I
rematch.
got Devin winning the rematch.
Me too.
You got Devin winning the rematch?
I had Devin winning the rematch before this fight.
Okay.
I had Devin winning the rematch right after his fight.
Just because you saying that he look good right now.
Because I knew what I was seeing. I knew what I was seeing. You got a kid that's literally seeming as if he's out of his mind, and you go into the ring laxed, thinking, he did half the job for me. Yeah. He came in here and he not ready to be in here. You did half the job for me, and I think he was laxed. And I think that was the first round he went down in, right?
I think first or second round, it was one of them.
Ended up going down, and then it just never really
couldn't
clicked
get his
for
feet
him,
back for it.
In the rematch, I just think that Devin Haney has improved as a boxer.
For sure. A little stronger at 47 too.
Stronger at 147 pounds. I think there's no doubt about it. Again, like knowing that he ain't cutting into the muscle no more, and handling things the way he's supposed to. He's gonna be strong at 147 pounds.
Okay. Anybody else out there for Dev at 147 outside of Ryan?
I mean, that's a great question. I'm hearing Rolly might end up fighting Manny.
What?
Yeah, I heard that.
I heard Manny was supposed to fight Floyd.
And then that's
what I heard.
Saw Manny over the weekend. They asked when is he gonna fight Floyd, and he said, I can't say nothing. Yeah, there's nothing I can say.
You got to tell us something, Manny. You can't keep it quiet forever.
I gotta ask you, how do you feel about these? I don't even know what to call them because it's just a different genre of boxing. It seemed like these matchups, right? It seemed like, how do you feel about that? As like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
If it happens, Rolly getting them at the right time,
and he getting Rolly at the right time too.
True.
He getting Rolly at the right time.
True. To make it look like he's back.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, for sure. It is a business.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a great question, and I think I'm trying to figure out how can you compare it. Unfortunately, you take the Browns, right? Yeah. The Browns against a lot of the upper echelon teams like the Bills or like the Chiefs. Sometimes the Ravens. They got off on the Ravens. Ravens ended up beating them. But there's usually two levels with i.e. the performance that the Browns had against the Raiders. That when you put two teams against one another that are at the same level, you take two fighters and you put them against each other at the same level. I.e., if you get a Floyd and a Manny, same amount of experience.
Got you.
Both these guys truly do take care of themselves.
I hear you.
Floyd still beats him again easy.
I kind of got a feeling that could happen.
Not a feeling. That's the truth.
But these guys are technically on the same level. So for them to do an exhibition match makes a whole lot of sense.
I'm with you.
For sure.
You got Jake Paul getting in the ring with
Anthony Joshua. I was going to ask you about that.
You had him getting in the ring with Tank Davis.
Yeah, I didn't like that fight.
He did something with Mike. None of that made sense.
Right.
But this is what as I was talking myself through this whole thing, I said, this is what makes sense. What makes sense is the fact that he does things that don't make sense.
True.
And he's able to pull them off.
True.
He's able to do something, put something together. It don't make sense. Yeah. And then
it works.
You talking about Jake or Floyd?
And then Jake.
Jake, okay.
I think Floyd has done things that don't make sense, and he make the shit make sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
With Mike, it did make sense to me, but then I realized there's so much money and there's so many people that actually recognize Mike and know who he is without being able to do the math of how old he is and how much he's incapable of.
For sure.
The only thing you promote is what he used to do.
That's it.
And what he was capable of. And all of a sudden this makes sense.
Yeah.
With Tank, it didn't make sense. You got the size differential. There's nothing about it that makes sense. Yeah. But now we talking about the hottest man in boxing against the hottest man in boxing. The only reason why you can say that is because this dude has so many endorsements.
Yeah,
for sure.
You got to call it what it is. You got to call it what it is.
He brought them into boxing.
You got to call it what it is.
Instantly, he becomes one of the biggest things in boxing. And then you got Tank, who truly is, or should be one of the biggest things in boxing, but is on such a landslide going down right now. He's not going up a hill anymore. He's going down a hill drastically fast. And it seemed to me like he was like, well, this is going to give him everything that he wants, the money that he wants, the amount of people in the stadium that he would always want. The list kind of goes on. All of a sudden, this makes sense.
All of a sudden. People say he was running from Roach. So that's why he fought Jake. He said Roach was going to put it on him. He
wasn't running from Roach.
I'm just telling you what the people say. That's just what they saying in the barbershop. He was running. That's why he went and chose Jake Paul.
Yeah. This is what did you hear something that they were saying when cherry picking goes wrong?
When cherry picking go wrong. I've heard that. I've heard that slogan.
So they were saying that after Tank and Lamont fought.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody understood what that fight was going to be. So for the majority, they're thinking, oh, Tank just fighting somebody from his hometown. He putting some money in dude's pocket. Oh, all right, that's cool. And then after the fight went the way that they went, because Lamont don't really have a name, you cherry picking. Whoa.
Lamont wasn't scared of that boy either.
Yeah. There it is.
You picked the right one, but the wrong one.
So, funny thing about that, when you come back and you're supposed to have a rematch, the first fight you were supposed to be fighting nobody. Mm-hmm. Why would you fight nobody twice?
That's what.
So for everybody out there that thought that Lamont was that Tank was afraid of Lamont, no, he wasn't. He was never. It was never. That was a hard night, but not a hard night that he can't figure it out and can't get past,
100%.
and all that kind of stuff. But when everybody is saying that he was ducking and running away, no, he fought a quote unquote no name fighter. He was supposed to be done with that guy, and now, this guy's still here. I'm not going to fight a no-name guy twice, especially when this guy is as good as he is and has my numbers simply because he's from where I'm from.
Okay.
So he knows my rhythm. He knows my distance. He knows my
Come on, man.
He breaks it down like, you feel me? He give it to us the Porter way.
The Porter way.
I love that the Porter way. I don't know how I'm bringing stuff in here that I ain't.
Hey, we just had that
vibe.
Baby, you know what I'm saying? It's just different.
We do that to you, man. But man, yeah.
So
that's what that was, though.
No, that's what
that was.
Yeah.
I mean, just listening to everybody talking the shop and in the streets and on social media, everybody, he running. Roach took his best shot and was right there to give him his best. And
you just do like this with people. That's all you just do like this. It's the difference between this and this.
Okay.
With Jake is this,
Yeah, for sure.
And with Lamont, to the boxing world, we understand the X's and O's of boxing. We understand, that's a hard night. The first fight was way more dramatic than we thought it was going to be. It was a good-ass fight. Yeah. And why we all would want to see it again, because we actually think like, this thing might be a little bit more 50-50 or at least 55-45 than we thought before.
No doubt.
For us, it's this because we are purists that love boxing, but for the economics of boxing, for Tank and everything, it's much smaller. That's no disrespect to Lamont.
No, not at all.
But Lamont got a good fight coming up this weekend.
I was just about to ask you about that. He fighting Pitbull Cruz.
And this could be the fight that puts him on the map.
Yeah.
Ooh, Roach.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's restate
Talk to me.
that.
Yeah, come on. Because it's coming up next Saturday. We got Roach and Pitbull Cruz fighting. Break it down, Sean.
Let's restate that. Yeah. Tank put Roach on the map, right?
He did.
But it's like being put on the map. And
I think he put Pitbull Cruz on the map too.
I was going to say that too.
That's the only dude he didn't knock out.
I think Pitbull, if he never fights Tank, he might not be where he is.
True.
He's everybody's favorite.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a fan favorite.
They love him.
And if it weren't for Tank, he probably wouldn't have had the audience.
Right.
Yeah. That would command the kind of attention that he gets now. Real. The funny thing is, even in like lackluster performances, a couple of losses, he still is, a fan favorite, and people love him and still want to see him. Pitbull, that is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay away from the analogies from now, but I will say that Lamont put Tank also on the map, and I think that this is the fight that could potentially get Lamont to. It's like being put on the map. That fight happened in New York between Tank and Roach.
Yeah.
You on the map in New York
for sure.
The world saw it, but you once this fight happens, if he handles the business, I think he's gonna stop Pitbull.
Yeah,
I think
he
stops
can. Pitbull.
Yeah, I think he can.
He's on the globe.
Yeah,
for sure.
He there. He in there.
He's on the globe.
Yeah, he there. Yeah.
I think he stops him only because, see, Pitbull ain't as slick as Tank. Mm-hmm. His footwork ain't as good as Tank's. I believe Pitbull gonna be sitting there most of the night to get hit, trying to give off a hit.
Here's the problem.
You feel me?
Here's the problem. Shout out to Shawn Porter. You can check his stuff out on Shawn Porter.
What up, Sean?
He did an interview with Roach, and apparently Roach and them, they want to try to stand right in front of him, and they want to try to fight in the pocket, and they want to, dip down, do all this kind of stuff, put the shoulder on him, we call this getting your head offline, right? So you go like this, and now you're offline, you can apply the shoulder, you can control your opponent and stuff like that. But the problem with that is you're standing right in front of a fighter that can't box any other way, but when you're right here in front of him.
Yeah. That's when he's at his best.
I'm with you.
I hope they don't underestimate.
He breaks it down so lovely, don't he, on the front page?
Man. I hope they don't underestimate Pitbull being able to change levels. Right. So it's one thing to be right here in your stance and then go a little bit lower. You go a little bit lower, and that just changes the dynamic of a fight. It just simply does that.
100%.
Lamont's smart enough, his team's smart enough to really find him and direct him and stuff like that. But you're trying to push up against somebody that literally that's their DNA. It's like if I'm pushing you and you're not used to me pushing you, you're gonna have a problem with it.
Right.
If I'm pushing you and you ain't got a problem with you're used to it. Oh, you able to just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so my problem is for them to want to go in there and stand right there directly with them. I know two things, and I hope they see this. Number one, once you start your train going and you get on a rhythm, it's hard to get that train to stop.
Damn right it is.
Get off those tracks, get on another track, and continue on a different path. Yeah. So what I mean by that is if they come in the center of the ring and they trying to plant right here and they want to do this for a couple of rounds, and then all of a sudden they want to try to flip that switch, it's possible. That they're not able to flip that switch because your muscle memory is so locked into doing this right here. So they might make the fight a little harder than it needs to be. I prefer them move like Tank. I prefer them be slick like Tank. And I think that's the kind of style that they need. He has the timing. He has the precision. If he does it like that, I'm not saying I'm right. But if he does it like that, I think if he does it like that, that's where the knockout comes. The knockout doesn't come right here. Right here, you're braced for everything. On the outside, you got to make your move.
You got to adjust,
to then brace for all that kind of stuff, So,
so you see Roach winning that fight by stoppage?
I got Roach winning the fight.
Y'all heard it first. Porter's prediction.
I think
prediction.
I think maybe it's a part of me on my heart that just wants him to get the stoppage because I want him to go past this presence that Tank has gotten, for the sake of words, gotten for him. I hate to say it that way.
Trying to outgrow that bubble.
It's like I said. and this is an absolute fact. Pitbull might not be where he is right now if he had not gotten in the ring with Tank.
True.
It's possible.
Tank might not be where he is if Floyd didn't have his arm around him.
True.
Right.
True.
I know for this for a fact.
Okay.
If I wasn't doing sparring, if I wasn't doing camps with Manny, it would have took me a little bit longer to get where I was going.
Okay.
Man. How was
took me a
sparring
little
Manny?
bit longer.
I got to ask you about that. How was
Amazing.
sparring somebody like Manny,
Amazing.
man? I hate to throw it off, but I just had to ask you.
Yeah, no. It was
That's
amazing.
Manny, man.
Yeah, that's right.
What's that work like?
The funny thing was, I don't know if people recognize this, but Manny and I, we have the same rhythm. We fight a lot alike, even though I wasn't.
That's real.
He was taught to use his explosive power, his explosiveness a little bit different from me. I was actually taught to like really set that stuff up and build. You know, there was a building process with me. With Manny, it was just do boom. You know, do boom. You know what I mean? So
That's Manny
real.
though.
That's
That's
real.
Manny.
Yeah.
but I was able to match him speed for speed, quickness for quickness, movement for movement. It was. I didn't have a lot of fun doing this, man. I had fun when I was in the ring with him.
Okay.
And you get out of the ring, and you know he got 2 or 3 sparring partners. So you get out of the ring, got the 5. You're like, yeah, that was cool. That was cool. Yeah. No, I'm on 6 today.
Yeah, I'm good.
Now, like, what you want? One more? Like, all right, yeah, one more. You know,
one
what I mean?
more.
You can't say no.
But
yeah.
you can get out of the ring. You know, you got your moment. So it was great.
It was
Yeah,
dope,
great.
man. That's hard. What up, Manny, man? You gave Shawn some good work. He called it fun, not work.
Quick story, man. Quick story.
On the front page.
First camp I did with him was when he fought Miguel Cotto. And he comes out with his new Nike shoe, and them things was just electric, right? I said, yo, I gotta get me some of them. So, you know, y'all don't know this about me, but I'm still, you know, I have this shy bone in my body or whatever the case may be. But I walk up to Manny, I'm nervous and I'm shy. And I'm like, you think I could have a pair?
I know everybody's seen the logo at the bottom of the screen on the front page. That's right, baby. Alky water. Now y'all can scan that QR code and make sure y'all test some of the crispness water out there, man. Tell them the front page sent you, and it's how we keep everybody freshly hydrated on the show, baby. Alky.
Have a pair? He's like, we in the Philippines, and yeah, I got you, no problem. You know that we was in the Philippines about 3 weeks. Never got the shoes. We get back to LA. We're in LA for like another 3 weeks or so. Never got the shoes. I'm hurt.
Right.
I think my dad could see that I was hurt.
Yeah, get them guys.
And my
Manny,
dad,
where them shoes at?
and my dad just daddy ported you. Like, you better go say something.
Oh, right. Shit about them shoes.
You know, I go in the room, go knock on the door. He in there, you know, doing this thing, whatever. Heart beating fast. I go in there. I say, "Hey, Manny, you know I never got my shoes." And he's like, "You never got your shoes?" And I was like, "No." And true story, man. He brought a couple people in, talked to them, slapped them on the top of the head.
Damn.
Now he looking around. He like, "What am I do?" He said, "Take these."
What?
Gave me the shoes off his feet.
Damn.
Yeah.
Right on, man.
I said, "No, man. No, I'm not worthy." He said, "You better take these."
take these
goddamn
He
shoes.
said, "You better take these." Now, y'all know, man, he
Damn.
don't speak English like
Right,
that. But
right.
in my head, like, this
I
is what
got
I
you.
was seeing. Yeah.
Damn.
Take these.
That's
Yeah.
hard, bro.
That's
He
dope.
gave you the
Yeah.
shoes off his
his
own feet.
man.
Then I
Man, he
took
used to
them saying,
stand up dude, man.
I had a fight. My dad scheduled me to have a fight like 2 weeks out of the camp with Manny, man. I went and never put them shoes on. And I wanted to wear them in the fight that I had. And my feet was in the shoes. Like,
Balled up.
I was cramped up after 2 rounds, man. I fought 10 rounds.
Who'd you fight in them
I
shoes?
easily
on the
fought
shelf.
8 rounds.
Who'd you
with
fight?
cramped up feet. This
Damn.
kid by the name of Russell Jordan, I believe is his name.
What year was this?
2000.
That name sounds familiar. I never.
10.
I'm trying. 2010.
2010, yeah.
Okay.
2010.
Okay, that was before I found out about you.
Yeah.
Remember, I didn't find out about you till you debuted. You hosted your own card. I think it was on Fox Sports the weekend that Canelo fought Floyd
Out here.
out here. In
Oh,
Vegas.
yeah.
Because they had you in the conference room.
I
It was
think I
that
was the
weekend.
I think I might have been the
Nah,
co-man on
I
that
think
too.
you was the man,
Was I the man
bro.
on that
You
one?
was the man.
Okay.
I remember. That's when I found out who Shawn Porter was.
And that's when TMT was really starting to.
That's what TMT.
Not to drag on Manny, but his son, ain't his son fighting?
Son just had a boxing
Just had a
match
boxing match.
2 nights ago.
That's crazy.
How'd he
2
do?
nights ago.
I don't even know. What did he win?
Walked
I
out
don't
of
know.
there with
That's
a
all I
draw.
was-
Damn.
Yep, walked out of there with a draw.
Hey, draws is all right. It ain't no loss.
It's
but,
It's not a loss. And of course, I said that,
For
but
sure.
at the end of the day, this is what I saw, and I'm just keep it 100.
Yeah.
He came out and he didn't know what to do. This is not. It's not a surprise when you don't have film on a fighter. That's a part of life
For sure.
But when you have grown up as an amateur boxing and stuff like that, you're used to having to see what's in front of you and then make your adjustments from there. This kid's only had 10 amateur fights, so he don't have that amateur experience to pull back on. He's 24, 25 years old now, so he's basically the muscle memory that he has is what he's going to be able to play with. He's not going to be able to really. He's not a big ball of clay, like you know what I mean.
Can't
Like
mold him really.
he's a ball of clay that's already molded. You know what I mean. So it's gonna take a lot of work. Okay. But when I saw that he didn't come out and didn't have a jab, didn't really, he won the first 2 rounds because he landed more punches. I thought he landed like more significant punches too. But this kid somehow tried to box him from the outside a little bit, gave him space. But this kid comes out in the next. So shout out to Lolly too, man. My boy Ant told me he done boxing. I said, hold on, you have one professional boxing match. It's a draw. You done. Ant said he a teacher back home in Chicago. He going home. He gonna teach. And you got this.
He cool
you
on
got
that
this
shit
little
now.
medal of getting a draw against a legend's son on your side.
That's
but he
hard,
ended
bro.
up. He was aggressive the next 2 rounds.
Wow.
Kept Manny's son on the ropes, and
Right on.
no shiftiness, but those are all things that you should probably teach the kid before you get him in this first pro fight.
Better teach that motherfucker something.
Yeah.
You gotta teach him something.
Manny says he wants to take a little bit more control and make sure that his son is training properly. So
For sure. Yeah,
I
you
don't
gotta
know
do
if
that.
means he's going to be the head coach, but he's definitely gonna make sure he has a print on what his son does moving forward.
I can dig that, man. I want to fast forward a little bit, man, because I definitely got to get your take on this Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua situation, bro. I mean, they call it an exhibition. I think they should really fight for real. Yeah. It's hard for me to really look at it and call it a real fight because I know at the end of the day, Anthony Joshua should put Jake Paul in the hospital. I'm just saying. If we going off experience, been doing this, Olympics, amateur, seeing the best of the best, Anthony Joshua should really put that boy in the hospital. Statistically, in a real fight.
They say numbers don't lie.
Right. They don't lie. But Jake Paul has fought nobody remotely close to having him ready to think he can take on an Anthony Joshua. Anderson Silva just didn't do it.
Yeah, none of these fights seem real.
Anderson Silva just didn't do it.
None of these fights seem real.
Numbers don't lie, but they don't always tell the truth.
That's real.
Can we say that?
That's true.
Well, buzz it down. Elaborate a little bit.
I want to go on record for saying that don't be surprised if Jake Paul beats Anthony Joshua. Now,
that there's being 3 blind mice at the table.
Open that up. Yeah, open that up.
Now, that being said, like, we don't really always know what the situation is when it's an exhibition. We don't know what the do's and the don'ts are. We don't know how, it's a 2-minute round, 3-minute round. I think the fight he had with Mike, I didn't know anything until the bell rang. It was like, we're still learning things as this fight's carrying on. So we really don't know all of the ins and outs of this whole situation. But here's the bottom line.
Jake Paul's not losing.
While Anthony Joshua is bigger.
That's my issue.
For sure.
Clearly bigger.
Clearly bigger. Reach clearly longer.
I've never had a problem with a fighter that was taller, bigger, more muscle than me, anything like that. I fought at 140 whatever pounds, and I used to spar with legitimate heavyweights. Like, I was little, but I was strong. I was fast. I was good. No, Jake isn't any of that. But I'm just simply saying that when you look at the size, again, the numbers don't lie, but they're not telling the whole truth.
All right.
Because now you got a fighter that's so much shorter than you've probably ever seen. You have to now make an adjustment to trying to punch.
Anthony Joshua remember that ass whooping he got from Andy Ruiz. He remembers. Andy was a short dude. Anthony Joshua remembers. He remembers for sure. He remembers. He remembers for sure.
My issue with that, right? And I'm no. Who am I in the sport of boxing? I ain't stepped in the ring ever. But I don't feel like Jake Paul deserves an exhibition. Mike Tyson, Roy Jones, they deserve it.
Yeah.
Mayweather, Pacquiao, they deserve it.
I hear you.
But to where you some rules and you can't. I don't think, man. They
He
just
don't
set right with me. I don't know. It's just my opinion, but I'm a nobody.
I'm gonna call it a draw.
Sport of boxing.
I hear you, and I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
You. But again,
but I get it.
We're purists again, looking at this from a standpoint of this is the sport, this is the game that we love to watch. That I did, and all these kinds of things. And again, while all of those things make sense.
Yeah.
Jake figures out a way to make it make sense for him. Yeah. And again,
I ain't mad at it. I get the
it's gonna be a draw.
But as a purist, in that sense, you're right. But
I hate to even try to get into this, but if it's an exhibition, does that mean both guys have their hand raised at the end?
It's gonna be a draw.
It's gotta be. In my opinion, it's gotta be.
I'm gonna tell you why it's gonna be a draw.
Should always be.
Because Netflix just got into Jake Paul business. Jake Paul can't lose right now. He just got here. He has to keep winning. But how you gonna fuck Anthony Joshua like he ain't no gold medalist and ain't been whooping ass for over 10 years? So to settle both of them, here you go, Anthony Joshua. You getting paid like a motherfucker,
absolutely.
And it's a draw.
It should be every
Jake didn't lose, you didn't lose, and we might get a part 2 out of their ass in Wembley somewhere over there, really over there, and really kill him. That's all I'm saying.
So
can you attest to that? Does that sound like it might make some type of sense?
It sounds like that's the game.
You feel me?
The game is a hustle. You know,
they sitting at the marketing table saying that.
At the end of the day,
he can't lose.
The two biggest things to me,
for sure.
I heard over the weekend that Anthony Joshua is training with Alexander Usyk and Alexander Usyk's coach. What? I love that.
Me too, but that seems like
extreme.
He pulling out the big guns.
It seems like it's too late. It seems like it's a little extreme.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe this was a move that he was already preparing to make. Maybe he knew he had a little bit more that he wanted to do in boxing, and he was going to make this move already. Yeah. You know, while you stood across from this ring, this guy twice, I think that second time ended until now is a lot of space for you to finally decide to get with this man.
For sure.
You should have got with this with Alexander and his trainer a long time ago.
Real talk.
Because they truly can get him to another level. That's bad news for Jake Paul. Why? Because now you have someone who understands how to deal with smaller fighters, how to train you to become a smaller fighter, which is essentially what you need when you're fighting a shorter guy. You either got to remain big and tall, or you got to know how to fight smaller. You know, most tall guys don't know how to fight smaller. They get caught in between, and that's why a lot of those fights end up going the way that they go.
Damn.
The other side of that, though, the other main component to this fight is Anthony Joshua has taken some damage from some legitimate heavyweights.
That's real.
That heavyweight punch is just different.
It is.
Yeah.
His punch resistance is not what it used to be. And I think a lot of people are going to be mad if somehow Jake Paul catches him with one of those like lightning.
And I think it's possible based on how he's performed in his later fights. It's possible.
Who?
That he could get caught with a
how Anthony Joshua.
It's possible that Anthony Joshua could legitimately get caught
because he's fighting real boxers.
Who's fighting real boxers?
Anthony Joshua. His last couple outings, he got whooped. He's fighting other pros who's
That's
been doing it like him.
Exactly.
Now he's fighting somebody. 12 fights in the game.
Yeah, he ain't been punched.
12 fights in the game.
And you said that Rolly was catching Pac at the right time.
You feel?
And then I said Pac is also catching
Rolly at the right time.
Rolly is older. Rolly has been through some things in his career as well. Mm-hmm. His punch resistance is low, so it kind of evens the playing field for Manny Pacquiao, who's a little bit older and just isn't gonna hit that mark the way that he used to. Same thing with Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. This is pretty much perfect timing for both these guys.
Yeah. You know, it's just hard for me to. I love the man's hustle. I love Jake Paul hustle. Any motherfucker get Netflix behind you, you the man. Yeah. You are the man. Your business team is excellent. Yeah. But Anthony Joshua, though, dog. Anthony, for real,
it don't make sense.
He could have gave us Deontay Wilder, man, or something. You know what I'm saying? Why Jake Paul?
No.
I know the money. He ain't gonna make $50 million fighting Deontay Wilder like he probably gonna make fighting Jake Paul. You feel me? So I get why.
I mean, but you know why? But you know what? Right now, that would be a good matchup. Them two, Anthony Joshua. And
I heard Anthony Joshua.
I wish it would have happened a long time ago.
Of course.
But right now,
Deontay Wilder was supposed to fight Andy Ruiz. I don't know how true that is.
That thing was supposed to happen a long time ago.
I just seen it.
I'm really not sure who it was what it was.
They faced off at the stadium like they was about to.
Did they face off recently too?
At Buzz fight. They was at the fight.
Yeah, I'm talking about years ago. This fight was supposed to happen when Fox was still in the business. This thing was supposed to happen.
It was supposed to happen.
Back 2020 before the pandemic.
There
was talks about this fight 2019. It was talks about this fight, so never was able to happen.
That's boxing, right?
Yeah, buddy.
If it happens, I'm riding with Andy Ruiz, baby. If Andy Ruiz and Deontay Wilder, I'm riding.
Yeah.
I'm riding with Andy. I'm riding. I'm riding.
I believe it. I think
I'm riding. And I love Wilder.
Yeah, me too. That's I like.
I love Wilder.
But
I'm just
when
riding.
I'm looking
Probably
at
brought
where
you
they
back
at
to the sport.
Yeah.
He probably brought both of y'all back to the sport. Like, let's keep it 100.
Yeah.
He definitely brought heavyweights back.
It definitely
to the
brought
sport.
heavyweights. Yeah.
And not me though. I've been around.
Oh, well, no, I know.
Yeah. I've been around, baby.
Yeah.
I've been around.
Yeah.
But I do want to ask you about one more fight, man, before we get out of here. Even though, we knew this was gonna happen, the boy looked good every time he stepped out. The Mexican monster, man. Oh, yeah. David Benavidez. Yeah. The boy looks great every time he steps out. I'm not gonna say Canelo's ducking him. But I would like to see them fight. Well, because he displayed a masterpiece when he fought old boy.
Yeah. Yard.
Where does he go from?
Yard.
Yeah, where does he go from there?
It's everybody saying, him being at 175 pounds now, it has to be Bivol, it has to be Better Beef. If it's not those two guys, you're basically robbing this kid of his career. I agree with that.
I agree
think
too.
He's at this point, he's paid his dude. He's done everything he needs to do to be fighting a Dimitri Bivol or a Arthur Beterbiev. Mm-hmm. That being said, it's just a matter of the business working for him. I don't know what the situation is. Last I saw, they were supposed to be doing that trilogy match, and I don't know what's going on with that. But if you're not fighting one another, one of y'all need to be getting ready to fight
Canelo,
Mr. David Benavidez.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I don't think David really would have a pick of the poison. I think the harder fight for him is Bivol, because Bivol is much more versatile, can do a lot of things. Same breath, Beterbiev can take a punch and he can deliver a punch.
For sure.
So both fights are dangerous fights for him.
Yeah.
I think both fights are 50-50 fights for him. But if it's not either of those two guys, I don't know who it's going to be.
Canelo's off the table? He ain't doing it.
Canelo's off the table because I'm not sure if going
weight?
back to 168 pounds, not that they can't.
Canelo ain't going up, though.
Canelo's 100% not going
back. You know who told him don't come back here. Bivol told him, he ain't going back up. Yeah, he ain't going back up, for sure.
I don't know. I do know that there was an interview some time ago where David said that he would go back down to 168 to fight Canelo. Me being a former fighter, knowing what that mentality is like, you get to a point where somebody they keep saying no, or they keep doing this and playing around and stuff like that. Forget it. Right. Once I turn my back and I go the other way,
I'm done.
I just don't need you anymore.
For sure.
In some ways he does, because I don't think there's another fight that's going to put him on the globe
like he wants to be,
the way that he deserves to be.
Right, for sure. Deserves.
Forget wants to be.
You right. Deserves.
The way that he deserves to be.
You deserve it, David.
I just don't think it's anybody else out there that can do it other than Canelo.
Yeah. And Canelo ain't going up, though.
You got Bivol and you got Beterbiev.
Yep. I would love to see.
But the landscape of who's coming to those fights are still different from who's coming to a fight with Canelo. It's the passing of the torch. And
that's it.
It's really just a matter of if Canelo wants to pass the torch.
He passed it to Bud. I'm just saying. If we gonna pass it, pass that motherfucker. If you been the shit since 2012, Canelo.
Yeah.
You feel me? Yeah. That boy been raking in it. If you gonna pass it, he passed it to the homie already. Yeah. Pass it to the other Mexican homie, man. At least pass it down to your community.
Hey,
man.
Listen, man. You know what but this is what I do, and I wouldn't be mad at him if he did it.
Right? Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I want to retire. Hey, Benavidez, you can have it.
You can have it, bro.
And you do that interview directly telling people like Benavidez is the guy.
Yeah.
Watch him. And that coming out of Canelo's mouth.
For sure.
That's the other way.
He can pass the torch.
He can not only pass the torch, but that's the other way. He can, for the sake of words, put Benavidez on that level that he deserves.
That's what Floyd did for Canelo. He whooped that young Canelo at 23. He was like, I only got 3 fights left. Yeah. You gonna be next, champ. Yeah. Hell of a fighter. I whooped your ass, but he gonna be good. You watch Canelo. But I do gotta ask you this, man, before we wrap it up, because this is your homie, and you probably already know the plan. You won't say it on the front page, but we know Terrence Crawford is your partner, man. His feet have been kicked up for a minute after his big win. He had cemented his place in the history of boxing. Yeah. What's next for him? Has he gave you anything? What might be on the radar? I mean, tell us something.
I got a suit that I did for him.
Okay,
I know he's gonna be putting that on soon.
Okay.
It's about
at a press conference. At a press conference. At a press conference, though.
As much as I know.
It's all like you playing this all like that.
I think he's waiting to see what happens with this weekend. we got Lara getting in the ring with Janabek.
Yeah.
And I think he approached Janabek. He said, "Man, you next."
Damn.
And
okay.
if Janabek can get past Lara, I do think that's what.
So if Laura doing, Terrence might fight Laura then?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so.
Damn.
I think for
that'd be a good fight. That'd be a damn good fight. Crawford and Laura would be a technical fight.
Why
because I think that what me knowing Bud is like, once I zero in on you, that's my target. That's literally how he is. That's my target. There's no play on words, nothing like that. My man will find a target and he going after it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. Well, I tried to get some info out of him Front Page Podcast. He's definitely holding on to the goods. You feel me? He definitely knows more than what he's leading on. But that's the homie, though, so we got to keep it under wraps. So we respect that, man. You got anything to say to the homie, man?
No, thank you, bro.
Man, it's
always a pleasure, man.
Man, we appreciate you coming. What you got coming up next, man? What's on your horizon, man?
No, funny enough, you asked me about Terrence. I'm trying to get out there in Omaha. So I said, man, I know Shaquille did this not too long ago where he was basically challenging the greatest in their respective sport. Remember he got in the ring with Oscar De La Hoya?
I do remember that.
He did some other stuff. I think he did tennis.
I do remember that.
Swimming. He did a couple things. Well, I said, you know what? Bud is known as being great at everything that he does.
Yeah.
And so I want to just have the camera on site and do a couple of things, play some pool, go bowling, do a couple.
Anything he gonna win and not all
anything
of
competitive,
and also just talk to him about all this. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to be able to curve a bowling ball and make it strike. You know what I mean? But like, really, how much time did you put into this? Is this something you just recreationally do when your family is around? Or have you been like me and you literally go up to the pool, to the bowling alley by yourself and say, man, I'm going to throw this thing and I'm going to stand up the whole time and just keep throwing it and keep throwing it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's amazing for him to be as great as he is at everything. And I think the one thing that it hasn't been analyzed is, how are you so great at everything? You know?
For sure. Right. So that's what you're going to dive in. That's what you're working on.
Yeah, I'm going to dive into that with him.
That's dope. That's dope.
Man, I'm just trying to.
That's some dope content right there.
Me, big dog.
Beautiful mind. That content is dope, man. Yeah. Well, I can't wait to see it, bro.
Yeah. Don't steal it, y'all.
If they steal it, we whooping their ass.
Right,
you feel me?
Coming for
you might have heard it here first, but don't do it first. God damn it. He going to get y'all ass. Shawn, thank you for coming through, bro.
Thank you, man. Always a pleasure, man.
Thank you for coming. Yes, sir. It's all love when Shawn Porter come through the Front Page, man. He always come through and do it the Porter way. You feel me? So on that note, I am Mr. One Gotta Go Show.
You know who it is, Mr. J File.
And I'm Mr. Who.
You see how he do? We've been working on this outro, and then this nigga just come in like he sell all the records.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? And this is Mr. One Gotta Go Show.
And this Mr. J File.
And this is Mr. Who, yeah.
Feel me? And this is the Front Page Podcast. We got to keep the ad libs. He gonna make me fight him back like Martin. Ooh, yeah. Right. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, we can get into it, man. I dig. Right.